With a shadeation palette brighter than a bag of Skittles, you'd assume the rose-veiled fairy wrasse might have an any problem status out. But with inside the teeming waters of the Indian Ocean, it's smooth for a fish to swim beneath the radar, even if it looks as if it's ultraviolet. For decades, the rose-veiled fairy wrasse became flawed for its relative, the rosy-scales fairy wrasse. The reef fish each develop up to 3 inches long, gain the identical stunning ombre patterning, and flow across the water column like dazed little sprites. But there are a few diffused variations. The rose-veiled fairy wrasse has a greater rounded tail fin and red crosshatches on components of its body. The adults of each species additionally range in coloration, aleven, though it's difficult to inform with the dimness underwater. These are the little info that helped biologists with inside the Maldives pick out a brand new form of marine life, one which they had been already pretty acquainted with. The rose-veiled fairy wrasse is a cherished aquarium fish that's particularly observed in twilight reefs, a coral habitat that prospers 100 to 300 feet beneath the ocean surface. The reefs are tailored to low mild conditions, and are usually greater preserved than corals with inside the shallows, which can be uncovered to human disturbances like weather change. Maldive Marine Research Institute biologist Ahmed Najib and California Academy of Sciences ichthyologist Louise Rosa helped lead the right identity of the long-misplaced fairy wrasse. Though the species is pretty plentiful and consequently now no longer presently at an excessive hazard of overexploitation, it's nonetheless unsettling whilst a fish is already being commercialized earlier than it even has a systematic name. Louise Rosa, curator of ichthyology on the California Academy of Sciences, stated in a press release. He labored with researchers from the Maldives, Australia, and the Field Museum in Chicago to put up a species description of the rose-veiled fairy wrasse with inside the magazine Zookeys. The paper compares the rose-veiled fairy wrasse specimens with numerous different species from the identical genus, which include the rosy-scaled fairy wrasse, which it became as soon as lumped collectively with. The first species degrees in waters among the Maldives and Sri Lanka, the second one lives farther south across the small island chain of Chagos. Both frequent rubble bottoms scattered with unfastened coral cover, consistent with the studies. The authors additionally referred to photos, videos, and measurements taken from remotely operated submersibles with inside the twilight quarter. Ultimately, they clocked sufficient visible variations to suggest the rose-veiled fairy wrasse as its very own species. They gave it the Latin name, Cerulibris finifenma, after the countrywide flower of the Maldives. It interprets to rose with inside the neighborhood Divahai language. The studies became a part of an extended excursion referred to as Hope for Reefs, in which divers and biologists band collectively to investigate the biodiversity of the twilight quarter with inside the Maldives. In the system they're developing with techniques to preserve the deep-water corals and all the attention suite residing in them. You are still here, great. You are now among the wonderful followers of the channel, so I will be happy to receive your comments on this video, and also if you want to create a video specifically for you on a topic that occupies your mind, write it in the comments section below the video and soon you will know the wonderful answers about the topic which you want. And now I bid you farewell and your opinions in a new video coming. Goodbye.